Yo, what's up, traders? Just gonna do a recap here. This is actually for Tuesday, the 20th, but today I'm recording on Wednesday, the 21st. So this was actually yesterday that I'm recapping these two trades. I've just been so busy with work. I have a day job still. So I just been busy, didn't get around to it until now. So I'm gonna do this recap for the trades I took yesterday real quick. As you can see down here in my orders, we're going to look at January 20th trades. And the first trade I took was on BTTC just before 7 o'clock. I was hoping we would get a little 7 a.m. push on this. If you guys know, in small caps, a lot of times we get a nice push on the leading gappers at 7 a.m. as other brokers open up and allow trading. Anyway, not a great trade. There's two gappers. I picked the wrong one. I was hoping this one would pop here. As you can see on the 1 minute chart, we got a nice pop right before 7. This is at about 6:55. It consolidated. What I was hoping for was a consolidation and then a push back to high day, maybe through high day. I got in pretty much at the break of this descending resistance line at 404. So it was pretty much, yeah, right on the descending resistance line. Um, Kind of a premature entry because I could have just waited to see if it was gonna dip, hold, and curl. I wanted to get in before 7 a.m. because I was trying to, uh, get in before that push. Uh, Obviously it didn't work, and I just stopped out. I stopped out at 386. So I think it was, I don't know. I think it was like a $60 or $70 loss, which was like 2 or 3%, which is in my parameters for loss. No big deal. I waited for something else to pop up, and I took this with my shift 1 hotkey, which is half my buying power. So I still had my other half of my buying power for a better trade, which is typically what I like to do. If I'm taking a early trade, I will use my shift 1 hotkey to only buy with 50% of my buying power, and then I'll save my remaining buying power for a better setup or the next setup. And since the market's hotter, there are a lot of stocks that go up between 7 and 7:30. Then it cools off, and then we get the next runner when news comes out. So anyway, FRSX was the next stock I traded. Let me just go back in time here. This trade's a little different than what I usually take, but I'll explain this trade. I bought this one at 187. I actually bought it on the dip down here, right on this wick. And the reason I bought this was this had so much range. It went from like 140s to 323 in one 1 minute candle. So I was like, this thing is most likely gonna bounce. If I can time my dip and just get a whatever curl on it, I can make a decent profit. Because if it's a stock, if it's priced at $1.85 or whatever, $8.80s, I need 18 cents to get 10%. So I'm like, I can get 18 cents on this thing if I can get the dip. So what I did was I took a dip once it came down to the 20 EMA on the 1 minute chart. I saw on the time and sales a flash of buyers. The price had hesitated for like a split second. I punched it. I almost nailed the bottom. The bottom was 182. I got filled at 187. So I will say, trying to catch a falling knife, there's a little bit of luck to it, no doubt. But it was obviously oversold. So when it popped back up to 209, I took some profit. I wanted to lock in profit just to make back what I lost from a previous trade. So if this trade didn't work, I'd at least be break even for the day. But also just to give myself a buffer in the trade, because a lot of times these will need to double bottom or create a higher low. So I actually did double bottom and it came pretty much right to my entry. So I held through the double bottom. So this dipped back down. I held through that. My stop was going to be very tight, obviously, since I had a good entry. My risk to reward was solid. So I was able to hold through this dip down, came back to my entry, and then it popped up through VWAP. And that's when I started selling for profit. So when it popped back up, I took some more profit. I took some more at 234 as it broke VWAP, and then I took a little bit more at here at 250, 249, but yeah, 250. And I held more. I wanted to see if we got another push back higher. You know, who knows? A lot of times when these dip down in the break VWAP, sometimes we get, you know, a push back up to high day. You know, I didn't think I was going to go to high day, but, you know, like I said, I like to hold some of my position for a run. It didn't do that. It came back down to my entry. I stopped out the rest break even. And that was that. That trade was, let's see what I made on that trade. 1 second here, bear with me. $186. So I think that trade was about a 10% trade, but with half my buying power. So it came out to like a 5% gain. I wish it showed the percentage here. Yeah, it doesn't really show the percentage here for the stock. Well, that's okay. Anyway, so I ended with like I think like $112, $113 day. So 3%, which isn't bad. You know, if I didn't take that first loss, I could have ended with a lot more if my first trade was a winner, but it is what it is. Not a big deal. I'll take 3% any day. As I explained the math, I'm looking for 10% a week. So a couple 3% days, I'm cool with. As you can see, I'm on a little green streak here. I'll go over today my next recap, which I'll record after this, but yeah, right now, like I said, I'm just trying to lock up green days. 3, 4, 5% is all I need. If I can get more than that, that's just icing on the cake. I'm really just trying to get 10% a week. If you look at my video I uploaded over the weekend, I created a series called Why You Suck at Trading, and I go over pretty much all the pitfalls people have while they're trying to get profitable. And I go over the first topic I went over because I think it's really the foundation of your psychology is undercapitalized and over expecting. So a lot of people are over expecting when they're undercapitalized. So if they have a $2,000, $3,000 account, they're trying to make $200 a day, $300 a day because in their mind that's what they need. I need this amount of money to quit my day job. I can't settle for $75, $100 days because that's not enough money. But I go over the math of why that's wrong and how compounding works. So check out that video if you guys want to. But here's a new week, and yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you on the next one.